Hello there, everybody. A very, very good morning to you all. Good evening or good afternoon, whenever you are watching from. I hope you are doing well, and welcome back to another live stream. It feels like it's been a while. Last week, end of last week was the last stream. Normally, I'm used to doing the weekly preview stream on a Monday, but obviously markets were pretty much shut. It was Easter Monday, so there was people off and etc. So I thought I would come on a bit later in the week, and obviously we have some news and some updates for you to take a look at. I know there's some people who are wanting to. I know there's some new people in the chat, which is great to see. I will get through and say hello to everybody. I hope you are doing all doing well and enjoying the markets, which are now back open, back alive and kicking, and the markets are moving. And we have some more news from Trump and Powell and all this stuff that's going on, and there's lots of volatility, which is great. It's causing a lot of market moves. So there's a fair few charts to take a look at. Before I do that, I want to address the situation with the giveaways. I do have an update on that, which is great. So last week we said that we were going to be introducing giveaways from this week's stream. So I do have an update on that. The reason that I'm a bit late to the stream today is I literally have just got out of a meeting from there. Not the problem we have. So we are going to be doing giveaways, right? That's we are going to be doing them. I've had that confirmed. The problem is I'm not allowed to actually give away things until we have a list of terms and conditions. With Easter Monday and the Easter weekend, the compliance team hasn't got the terms and the T's and C's ready just yet. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that we can get the giveaways coming from Friday. But I know that's people may be thinking we're going to get them from today, so I do apologise. It's in the works and it's coming. It's coming very, very soon, which is great. I can tell you how they work, and I wanted to, because I can show you the process of how it's going to work. It's really, really simple. When I get this confirmed, which is going to be hopefully in the next 24 hours, the giveaways on the streams, I'm going to be looking to do 2 giveaways per stream. So every single time I'm live on YouTube, you'll see a little, probably a little thing in this top left hand, where like this gap is in this top left hand corner. It's going to be really simple. All you have to do is comment "win" on the YouTube chat, and you'll be entered into a live draw. So I'm going to do this sort of like as a manually first. So when people are commenting "win," I'm going to put your names into a live draw. And at the end of the stream, sort of, or maybe in the middle towards the end of the stream, I'm not really sure how it's going to work. I'm just going to wing it. I'm going to put everyone's names into a live simulator. So there's no I'm not giving awards to someone who I know. It's going to be completely random, and there's going to be 2 winners on those giveaways, which is great. So I know that, for example, one of the giveaways we can give away is a $10,000 Atmos funded challenge, and the second giveaway is going to be something to do with Taurex, just a traditional brokerage. Maybe it's a deposit bonus or something like that. If you win the draw, if your name pops up when I do the live thing, then the way it will work is that what I need you to do is message either me or one of the moderators in the relevant Discord channel, whether that's in the Atmos Discord channel if you won the Atmos challenge, or in the Taurex one. You can message me privately, but you need to be in the Discord channel to be able to message me. So make sure you are joined, and we will then reward you with your prize. So that part of things is all good. So I'm ready to go. There is a lot of things that go on in the background. It's not just me going live. There's a lot of tech in the background to get this going. And obviously there's things with any giveaways. You'll see terms and conditions, and it has to be approved by people, etc. So we are very, very close. So I don't know if I rambled a bit there. So we're not doing the giveaway today. So I do apologise if you were expecting the giveaway today. It's probably my fault. I shouldn't have said we were doing it from today or from next week. Fingers crossed, we're going to have these giveaways coming from Friday. Okay, so that's that. Good morning to you anyway. Good to see everyone in the YouTube channel today. Osama, hello to you. Good to see you. You want to see what's going on with the Dow Jones? Yes, of course. I'll make sure I take a look at the Dow Jones. There's a few markets that we're going to take a look at today. The Terrible Trader, hello, good to see you. Jess Reeves, hello, good morning to you, good to see you, thank you for joining. Hello to you, Dan, T minus, good to see you. He come in and here's the first comment of win. Oh, I do apologise, I'm sorry if you commented win, but they are coming. I'm not Batman, hello to you, good to see you. Elite Crypto, hello, good to see you as well. VR Gopi, hello. I really hope that TradingView charts are working when I'm about to go on them in a minute, because if they're not, I'm not going to be happy. It might be the brokerage that you're using, I'm not sure. So Jessica Bonus Forex, hello to you. Bobby, hello, good to see you. Thank you for joining in. I hope you're doing well. Curtin, hello, good to see you. Just reading some of the comments here. VR Gopi, yeah, it's good to be random. Yeah, it's going to be completely random. The prizes will, the draw will be completely random. I'm actually going to be putting, I'm not sure, at the start, I'm going to be putting everyone's names as they comment. So we'll see how it goes. If it gets too much, I'll have to think of some other way to automate it. But yeah. Okay, good stuff. Right. But other than the giveaways, we are here obviously as traders to have a look at some of the market moves, have a look at some of my potential trade ideas and my opinions on some of the markets at the moment. So let's take a look at some of the news that we had, and just quickly, one of the reasons it has been a little bit delayed is because of the obviously the Easter break means people were off work. It was bank holiday in Europe on Monday, so there was people not at work, so it was just too soon. Put your name in there to talk the fun, yeah. Good stuff. Okay. Right, so I want to just quickly point you in the direction of some of the market news that we need to be aware of as traders. And one of them is we've had this battle, quite public battle between... are the charts actually not working? Oh. Let's talk about the news first, and I'll go on the charts. If they're not working, there's not too much I can do. But at least I've managed to give you an update of what's going on. Okay, so... we've had quite a public battle between these two men here, President Donald Trump and Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell. It's been quite clear publicly that Trump is not a fan of Powell. This was the same during, it's been like that for quite a few years actually, but there's been some public tension between the two. Trump saying basically that Powell needs to resign, Powell basically saying he can't legally sack me. That's very much a... what's the word? It's very much a delicate subject. I don't know the law books of whether the president can fire the Federal Reserve Chairman. I've seen some people that are saying he can, and some people saying that he can't. It's very much a grey area, so we shall see. But and what that was basically doing was feeding into more of the uncertainty. And to be honest, things were starting to get a bit out of hand in the US. There was a lot of we've seen a lot of selling in the US dollar. We've seen obviously a lot of selling in the stock market, but particularly the US dollar. What we've seen is the reason that we've seen this US dollar sell off so aggressively is because people are losing faith in the US, and this didn't help the situation. However, as you've probably seen by the article headline by now, Trump has come out and said not too long ago, actually this morning, that he has no intention of firing the Fed boss. But he added that he would like Powell to be a little more active when it comes to cutting interest rates. Basically, Trump wants Powell to cut interest rates, okay? And Powell doesn't want to cut them yet because he's worried about his job is to control inflation. So you've got that sort of battle. Obviously, it's great for Trump if interest rates are cut because that's stimulus into the economy and that can help boost the US economy. But Powell's job is to keep inflation down. And he's saying, look, we're not ready to cut interest rates yet. Inflation's too high. That's the battle. Basically, Trump would like Powell to be a little bit more active. And last week, the president intensified his criticism. He called him a major loser. The comments sparked a sell-off of stocks, bonds, and the US dollar. But financial markets have since recovered from these losses. Then, sorry, I'm not signing up to that. Just this article here, just the headline that you need to see here. Trump says that he's going to substantially cut the China tariffs as the trade war bites. So what we're actually seeing here is my chart seems to be working okay, which is good. Is we've seen these positive last 48 hours. The volatility's been there, but the actual positive sentiment's been there as well. Okay, and you can see that in the Nasdaq, and you can see that in any of the stock markets, we basically had nearly a 2 or 3% day upside yesterday, and basically a 2% gain already this morning, and some big gaps as Curtin, you've just said. Hopefully, is anyone else having problems with TradingView? Mine seems to be ticking okay. Mine seems to be all right anyway. So we saw a big gap overnight, basically, and that was where Trump has come out and basically said that he's going to cut substantially the China tariffs. There's a bit more optimism now about the fact that maybe the tariff situation isn't as bad, and that's just feeding into some risk on trading. We've predominantly seen risk off, haven't we? We've seen, you know, stocks selling off. We've seen the Japanese yen really boosting, the Swiss franc really boosting, gold prices going crazy, and now that reversal has started this week. How much legs has it got? Well, from a technical standpoint, last week I gave everyone a trade idea for the Nasdaq, basically selling off of this bearish fair value gap that we had created from the Friday to the Monday, and you can see that the market came up, tested my entry perfectly if you just follow where my cursor is, and we had a really good sell-off. So as always with my risk management plan, basically what I do is when I get to a situation where my trade hits 1-to-1, which was here, I closed half of the position, so I risked 2%, so I closed 1% profit, and I then waited to hit 2-to-1, where I closed a little bit more, and then I moved my stop loss to entry, and it was running really, really nicely. And obviously then the news come out about, you know, the Trump cutting back on tariffs, etc., and that fed into some risk on trading, and I've now been stopped out at entry. So I'm going to delete all of this. Okay. But you can see we're not out of the woods yet. I'm going to get rid of that fair value gap. We have still got this sort of descending channel that's really been formed since the high here. So we actually could be running into, this is on the 4-hour time frame, we could be running into some resistance here. In fact, I already made sort of 1.7% on the trade. I'm actually tempted to place a sell trade at yesterday's high, with a stop loss just above. If I ignore, I don't care about the 200 SMA on the 4 hours, only on the daily. Probably cover like this high here, and basically play the same trade with a slightly better entry than before, and the fact that I already closed out some profits. So that was one of the main trade ideas that I wanted to share with you all, because I don't think we're out of the woods yet. To be honest, at all. There's still a lot of uncertainty. There's still the recession fears that are lingering, and I'm not trying to come on and scare everyone about recession and stuff, because it's much easier to be a bull than a bear. But we did get a nice sell. We are still, you know, quite significantly lower from the all-time highs. We're respecting hopefully this trend line and this channel, and I quite like this trade. So that's my opinion. And I think it's worth a sort of 1% risk for me, because I already made some profit on the other trade. So as always, pretty much, yeah, Asama, it's pretty much the same trade, and it worked well before. Made some profit. So sometimes when, you know, I'll have another go at it, basically. So let me just quickly put this in the trade ideas section in the Discord channel, because I always post my trades that I'm taking in the Discord channel. So let me just quickly do that now. Trade ideas, Nasdaq, sell idea from live stream. Pretty much the same trade as before, everyone. Pretty much the same trade as before. And I'll do that in the Taurex channel as well. So whoever's in both, you'll see it. But if you're only in one, Nasdaq, sell idea from stream. And that's one of the main trade ideas I wanted people to take a look at in terms of what I wanted to do. Okay, let me just delete these alerts now because they've been set. The other trade that I shared with everyone, if you watched my previous live stream, was my trend rider trade on dollar yen. So I basically had two trades. You can see that, can't you? Yeah. I basically had two trades on dollar yen. The first one was a test here of this red line, which is this EMA 12. This is my trend rider strategy. So just to give you another update for those who are watching, I am really working hard on the Trading Academy now, and I will be, as part of one of the modules nearer the end of the course, I'm going to be literally giving strategies with PDF documents that you can actually read the rules, and also with a video. It's going to be all video based with some written as well, so it's a lot more engaging for you. And within this academy, I will be releasing this trend rider strategy, which I've sort of adopted from. It's not my strategy I made, to be honest. It's a strategy from someone called Mario Singh. I've used it. I've tweaked it. I've sort of adjusted it to how I like to trade, and it moves. It's doing quite well. And you can see this is one of the trades. So first entry was here at 144, and the second entry was here at 143.5, and you can see both of these trades. Thank you very much, Osama. It's very, very kind of you. I hope you do enjoy the academy when it's ready. It will be there soon. I'm going to release it sort of module by module, so people can digest the first module as I'm recording the second one. But I am on my own, so I'm doing it as quick as I can. We reached 3 to 1 and 2 to 1 on. Oh no, sorry, not quite 3 to 1. It's at this low. We reached 2 to 1 and 2.5 to 1 on both the trades. So really, really nice. I closed out some good profit. But obviously, we then had that news over the last few days about the situation in the US, which caused a little bit of a surge in the US dollar. A bit more faith in the US when Trump sort of laid back on his comments and potentially laid back on some of the tariff things as well. And basically, what I always do when I enter the trade, I wait for the ADX indicator to come above 40 and then back below. So you see, this is actually where I've exited the trade, here and here. So 1.42 to 1 and 1.17 to 1, 2% risk in total, 1% on each trade. So about 2.5% profit on that trade, which I'm really, really happy with. I've actually got, if you don't believe me, I've got the proof. Oh, I'm on TikTok, obviously. Where is it? MC5. This is my trend rider account. I am just literally, when this 4-hour candle closes, I'm going to be closing because it's going to be below 40. But if I go show you, I've been in this trade for quite some time. Okay, you can see that there. So when this 4-hour candle closes, we'll see a move below 40, and I'll be out of that trade, and then we'll reassess this situation after. So that's good. Two good trades there. Two positive updates. I imagine a lot of people are trying to make sense of what's going on with gold. So let me go back to my normal template. I have different templates for my different strategies. Gold. And are there any other markets anyone wants me to cover? Any markets anyone's looking at? So, gold down 2%. I think the most significant thing about gold is this current move. I mean, you can see it on the daily. I think we can. I've been trying to do this for ages, but I think we can now safely say, look, we've actually created this bullish leg here. Okay, and if we zoom in on that, I'm not a massive fib trader, but sometimes when you look at like daily swings and daily legs, you know, fibs can be quite cool. And you can see right now from this current swing from low to high, look where we're reacting from. 38.2. So we drop that down onto the 1 hour time frame, and you can see we're just starting to see a reaction here. So this isn't a trade, to be honest, that I would trade, but this is a good potential trade idea for those of you who maybe are looking for some gold upside. We're currently in an area of demand. We're currently in an order block, and that order block sits on the 38.2%. And we're seeing a reaction. So, we know how bullish gold is at the moment. You can see it on the daily time frame. For a 7-to-1 risk-reward trade to reach the highs again, 3,500, it's quite a good risk-reward, isn't it? You could argue, I'm sort of talking to myself here, I could argue, maybe, is that worth a 0.5% trade? It's good. It's a good area. I think I would prefer, given how far it's come, and I know I've said this on quite a few streams, but I really, really, really hate buying things when they're so overextended. Like, you see it on the weekly and the daily time frame. It's so overextended. It's an amazing risk reward, you're right, which means that it's tempting me. I think, though, I'd prefer to see a bit of a deeper pullback. I would love to see us moving towards somewhere like 3,200, somewhere that sits in this sort of golden pocket area, wait for a reaction there, and then potentially buy. Because I don't think the gold story is over yet. Let me keep that on, actually, because I want to track it myself. I don't think the gold bull story is over yet. There's still a lot of things that we need to overcome when it comes to uncertainty, when it comes to recessions and all that sort of stuff. We don't quite know yet still if we're going to be in a recession. I think we're sort of pricing a 50%, 50-50 chance. So these markets are very much on edge at the moment. And I think gold will continue to see safe haven bids. Again, the problem is that you buy at all-time highs at your peril, because you see it can sell off quite aggressively from these areas. It's already down 2% today. But there is potential for us to get at least a move back up to 3,400, which would mean that you could make that trade risk-free, and that's why it's tempting me. So I maybe will decide that for myself, but that's a potentially good idea for anyone who's looking for some more gold upside. Okay, US 30. For those of you who trade gaps, it's quite rare that we see gaps. That's there, isn't it? That's the gap. It's quite rare that we see gaps in the middle of the week, to be honest. So everyone knows how we trade fair value gaps, hopefully. If not, again, it's going to be in the academy, don't worry. Trading gaps is a really... Trading doesn't have to be complicated. You saw the Nasdaq sell from that sort of trend line. Well, if you fancy more stocks upside, I think the US 30 might be a good place to go. Basically a move to this 50%, which is around 39.5. And then a move higher, and we can target potentially, where is it? How would this work? So long from the 50% of the fair value gap, because it's quite a big gap. This high here is 3-to-1. That's 6-to-1. So again, really nice risk reward there. If we are entering a period, because let's be honest, we don't know. If we are entering a period of risk on trading, and a period where tariffs start to be scaled back, we will see more upside. We will see a lot of reversals. We're going to see some dollar strength. We're going to see some stock market strength, and all those flows that were initially into like the Japanese yen and Swiss franc will just be unwinded somewhat. They're not going to be completely reversed, I don't think, because there's still a lot of uncertainty, but they may be unwinded. Sometimes what happens in markets, or a lot of the time, is that the markets price in something really, really quickly before it's even happened, and when it doesn't happen, it can scale back a little bit. That's maybe what we're seeing this week. Dan says that he's waiting for some bullish price action on the 15-minute 1 hour before going long. Short-term selling for now. Yeah, I agree with that. That's why sometimes when you use those key daily levels, those key 4-hour levels, I know you do this, Dan, quite a lot, it's good to wait for that lower time frame bullish shift first as a confirmation. So whether that's on the hourly time frame, as you say, or the 15-minute. With the way that I trade, because I'm very, very busy, you know, in front of the camera and stuff like that, and doing content and planning the academy and stuff, I don't quite have the time to be on the charts for a 15-minute. However, if I was, that's exactly what I'd be doing. Osama, the reason is if we mark from the all-time high and we try and draw some sort of channel here. Okay, do you notice something? Because what I notice is that there's quite a lot. If this is our new trend and this is our trend line on the top of it, with the US 30, okay, from that fair value gap, you notice how there's quite a lot of upside, 270, however many points that is. There's about 5.5%, 2,000 points away from that potential same resistance. But on the Nasdaq, you can see that we're already on it. So I think that you have to sort of analyze which one looks potentially best for sells and which one looks best for buys. I wouldn't recommend obviously buying one and selling the other, because you're sort of just hedging yourself. But I'm asking you, if you think that you're going to see some more stock momentum and we see more positive news, look for that US 30 buy. But if we see news coming out from Powell or Trump and things start to become more uncertain, like more negative headlines, for example, or for example, which we need to talk about, earnings, are much weaker, like they were from Tesla, and then we've got Google, and we've got the big dogs next week, then we can play the Nasdaq downside. So you have to sort of pick and choose. I always look at the same asset class and I say, which is the best one to buy and which is the best one to sell. That's the way that I do it. The Nasdaq looks great to sell for me, and the US 30 looks better to buy. There's more risk reward there. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so when it comes to earnings, last night we had Tesla earnings, which were the worst quarterly profit since 2021. Where is it here? Adjusted earnings of 0.27 earnings per share and 19.3 billion revenue, but the average estimates called for Tesla to report 21.3 billion and 0.41 earnings per share. Yes, we'll have a look at DAX, Curtin, no problem. So that was quite a... Wait, when was this? Oh, that was its first... Yeah, that is right. So initially, this is the first sort of big tech company that we've seen releasing earnings. And it was fairly negative. So it wasn't the best earnings report. We have got later tonight, and we're going to do, I think Friday stream is going to be particularly diving into earnings and into some of the individual stocks, hopefully with the giveaway as well. We've got Google or Alphabet releasing its earnings tomorrow evening, so that's another big one. And then if I just point you in the direction just quickly whilst we're here, and then I'll have a look at some of the requests and questions. Next week, Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, like big ones. This is what I'm saying. If those earnings reports are weaker, that's going to feed into some more recession fears. Therefore, we may see some more stock market downside. Or they once again are fairly solid, and recession fears are sort of battered away, and that probability falls, and then markets start pricing in there not to be a recession, and then we see some stock market upside. Roger the Alien, hello to you, good to see you. What a name. Where do you see gold a month from now? Good question. Where do I see gold a month from now? Okay. If I had to hang my hat on it, and you're asking me to predict a period of time which is very, very uncertain, okay? So I'm just this is sort of a stab in the dark, really, if I'm being honest. This is an educated guess. I believe this next month we may see the current moves that we saw being reversed somewhat. So we may see it be a more positive month for the stock market, a positive month for the US dollar, with the uncertainty becoming slightly less uncertain. What does that mean? That means basically that I think that we might start to see some deals being made between Europe and Trump, China and Trump, and therefore the tariff situation, which is currently at like max escalation, just be tailed back somewhat. Doesn't mean we're out of the woods. When we see that uncertainty falling, that potentially means that we could see gold, I think, maybe at somewhere around 3,100 in the next month or so. So a little bit of a sell-off. I say that with like not great confidence because I'm sort of like so many things can change. You know, I can say one thing and then the next hour Trump could come out and say the deals weren't good enough. You know, we're doubling down on tariffs, or the data that comes out could show recession, and then we could there see some more gold upside. But if I had to hang my hat on it now, the news that we saw last night makes me think that we're going to scale back a little bit on the situation and the situation may become a little bit more steady and a little bit more calm, and that will help gold downside. That's been my view. So I think maybe around 3,100, let's say, we may see a test, maybe of 3,000 in the next month. But sell it at your peril. I'm not getting selling signals just yet. But let's just see what comes out of some of the news and stuff in the next sort of week or so. That's why it's important to tune into the live streams, because I'll be able to, provide constant updates on the situation. Okay. In terms of data for today, it's a PMI day, Purchasing Managers Index, which essentially gives us an indication of the strength of some of the sectors, the main two sectors in the economy being manufacturing sector and services sector. And the PMI data gives us an idea of the performance of those two sectors. So it goes without saying, if generally we see weaker PMI data, that means contraction in that sector. That could feed more recession fears. But if we see data which is stronger, that's going to feed into more of the risk-on sentiment, which is stock upside, DAX upside, for example. So we've got European PMIs out in 11 minutes' time, which I imagine may move the needle for the DAX, which is the German stock index, which is up. Look at that monthly candle. Wow. So, the DAX curtain is a really interesting one, isn't it? Because you remember when we broke below this move and then we had a retest of it and then we saw that initial reaction. Well, obviously the news that we've had has created more of a positive sentiment and we now see some upside. Okay, so again, if I was going to trade, and I do trade the DAX, for me it's about trying to catch on to this potential bullish momentum that we might be seeing. The buy the dip traders. Where can we do that from? Really simple. Trading again doesn't have to be complicated. Fair value gap 50%. Okay. Where would I put my stop loss? Probably below this low here. Back below this trend line. Okay. And what would we target? Okay, so let's target the highs. I always target big wicks along the way, like liquidity levels. So this high here is 2.3 to 1. You know, this high up here is 4 to 1. So I think we have enough in that trade to at least get us to 1 to 1. And to be honest, when you trade, that's all you need. All you need to do is get to 1. All I need to do is get to 1 to 1. And I know that I can't lose because I close half the position off, which means if it then hit my stop loss, I've broken even on the total trade. And if I get to 2 to 1, I know no matter what, I've made profit. So I'm not always going, right, I need this to hit a home run 8 to 1. When I get a good area for supply or a good area of resistance or support, I'm only ever thinking, can I at least get 1 to 1 out of it? Because if I can get 1 to 1 out of it, my trade's pretty much risk-free because of my risk management. So you'll probably notice that when I trade, I don't necessarily trade the most complex of things sometimes. Sometimes it's really simple. Sometimes it's a breakout of a channel. Sometimes it's a converging triangle pattern. Sometimes it's an order block, fair value gap. I'm just looking for that technical analysis, which I know I like and I enjoy looking at. And then it's my risk management which makes me money. This is why when it comes to the academy and stuff, like I want to make sure I drill that home. People always think that smart money concepts, if you don't trade smart money concepts, you can't make money. I know traders that make thousands trading with no technical analysis on their chart. They just use a simple pin bar and they're swing traders. But the problem is the thing is their risk management is on point all the time. They've got clear rules with their risk management. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm going to try and teach in the academy as well. So yeah, here we go. Okay, is there any other questions? Anything anyone else wants me to cover today? Or have we covered it? So please do make sure you're in the Discord channel and following the Taurex social medias, all the Atmos ones, or mine, Connorwood at Connorwood's Trading on Instagram, because I will be providing an update of the giveaways very, very soon, and I'm hoping that we can get those giveaways in time for Friday. Should we be able to do that, I will notify everyone on Discord. It will be over social media, so make sure that you come and tune in, or make sure you're keeping up to date with the announcements section or whatever on the Discord. And yeah, we'll be able to, if you scan the QR code on the screen, you'll be able to join the Discord channel where I'll be providing those updates. Or if you have social media, you know, all of those I'll be providing updates on. So leave it with me. I will get working on that, make sure we get that ready to go. Until then, trade well, trade safe. I hope you enjoyed the session today, and thank you very much to those who tuned in, and I will catch you all on Friday. Thank you.